Welcome to part 4 of our bouncing ball simulator. In this part, we're going to be kind of changing the color of the balls and moving them in different directions and all kinds of fun stuff. But let's take a look at what we have. So we've got 10 balls on the screen, and they are bouncing. They are all starting in the same direction. They're all starting at the same height. And what we want to do is we want to kind of customize that and make it look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to close that. And the way we're going to do this is we're just going to randomize things. Now, we've already used the random module in part 3 to change the x coordinate to a random spot. So why don't we do the same thing with the y coordinate? So y equals random.randint. It's a random integer. And let's say maybe from 200 to, let's say, 400. Oops, that should be y. Let's run that and see what happens. Okay, so that looks a little bit more interesting. So you see they're all starting at different heights and things. All right. However, they all do start off going in the same direction. So what I want to do with dx is make that random as well. Random.randint. And let's say -3 to +3. So let's run that. And again, you can play around with the numbers and do whatever you want. So you can see how this one here is moving straight up and down. Some are moving left and right a little bit. Some are moving left and right really fast. And that'll be different every time you do it. Okay, so it's starting to look kind of cool. Okay. Next thing that we could randomize is the color. Okay, so what I want to do with this one is I'm going to make a new list, call it colors, very original, but logical. And I'm just going to give it a bunch of colors that I like. So I'll start with red, blue, yellow, say orange. What else do we got? Green, white, let's say purple. Stick with the Crayola 8 box there. And then here where it says color, we're going to use the random module again, but something called choice. And then in the parentheses, we put colors. So, check your parentheses, make sure you have enough. 1 here, 2 here, and 2 on the end. And let's test that. Okay, so now each ball is a randomly chosen color. It's bouncing in random directions, which is kind of cool. One thing we could do then is we could, instead of 10, let's make it 25. Now, the speed of the animation, of course, will depend on the speed of your computer. And so maybe slower, maybe faster. Okay, so we got a bunch of balls bouncing around, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now you notice it slows down, speeds up. That's just the way things go, I suppose. Oops, didn't mean to hit that again. And then maybe the last thing, and this will be kind of cool, I think. Instead of just using balls, let's change the shape a little bit. So let's do a bunch of shapes. And here are the shapes you can choose. You've got circle, you've got triangle, you've got square. Okay. There's also a couple others, but for our purposes, I think these will be the best. And the same thing that we did here, so we can just copy this code. And we want a random choice of shapes. Okay. And let's see what happens there. Okay, that's kind of cool. Looks interesting. But what I want to do, now watch this. This is where it gets really kind of interesting. And I haven't tested this, so I might have to make a few mistakes. What I want to do is I want to get them rotating. Okay. So I'm going to make a new property. I'm going to say ball.d, let's call it A for angle. And let's just say it equals 2 for now. So what I'm going to do is in here, I'm going to say ball.rt, which means turn right, ball.da. And what this will do is it will actually rotate the ball, or whatever that ball is, right based on this speed. So let's run it and see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see how they're all rotating okay, at the same speed, at the same direction. So let's randomize that a little bit. So equals random.randint. Let's do -5 to 5. Let's make it a big number. Let's run that. Okay, so you can see how some are bouncing in different directions. Now circles you can't tell, but because they're round. And then here's something that we could do to make it kind of look really cool. If it hits the wall or hits the floor, let's say, we could do this. We could do ball.da times equals -1. So what that'll do is basically every time it hits something, it will reverse the bounce. Okay, let's run that. So notice when it hits the wall, bouncing direction changes. So I think it kind of makes it look cooler. So it makes the bouncing look a little bit more realistic, I guess. Now again, it's not physics perfect bouncing, of course. There's a lot of features involved there. You'll notice they occasionally get stuck down here. If you want to fix that, what we'd have to do is if ball x core is less than -300, then you have to set ball.set x to 300. Because what's happening is it's getting below and it kind of causes problems. Oops, -3. All right, we don't do it on the left. We want to do it. Sorry. I'm going to do it on the bottom. So ball.set y -300. That should prevent that. You know, it's because we're doing more complicated animations that kind of slows down and speeds up and slows down and speeds up a little bit. But that's something we can't really do anything about at this point. But yeah, so that is kind of how you put a bunch of shapes on the screen, get them to bounce around in a relatively accurate manner. And yeah, so I hope you learned something from this. If you liked what you saw, please comment or like below. If you have any questions, don't be shy. And yeah, thanks for watching.